Hi, my name's Sam Clark from the Spinal Recovery Program and the Movement Studio, and today I'm going to share with you my back pain story. And I remember the first time that I experienced back pain, I was probably about 15, and I was outside having the time of my life really, playing Manhunt. And in this game, you just pick one person who has to find everyone else in the group. And as they find more and more people, the ratio of people looking and hiding and searching shifts, it flips, so that in the end you have the whole group looking for just one person. So there I was, crouched forward, hiding in these trees, and suddenly my mate launched onto my back. He'd found me, and I fell straight flat onto my face and straight into this mud and stinging nettles. And as I fell, something went ping as my back distorted. And I remember finding it all quite hilarious. You know, I was covered in mud and leaves, and it tasted gross, it was all in my mouth, and I could hardly move. And when I reflect on that now, it's kind of funny how when you're a kid, getting injured seems much less important. You know, having a few days off in the end isn't really that dramatic when you haven't got a mortgage and a job to hold down. So there I was, my back was hurting like crazy, you know, like someone had just stabbed me with a knife and was twisting it into my back, into the muscles in my back. And it must have been really painful because I just remember it so vividly. And I remember the pain lasting a couple of weeks. And then I remember feeling, you know, really happy as the pain started to melt away all by itself. And I could start doing all the things that I wanted to do again. So fast forward a few years, and I was beginning to get a repetitive shoulder problem now. And my shoulder was dislocating all the time. And by the time I was 23, I dislocated this shoulder about 13 times and experienced a good amount of chronic pain because of it. And I remember the last time I did it, I was actually on holiday visiting a friend in Malta, and I fell off the back of one of those rubber rings that you attach to the back of boats on a rope. And I remember it happening and floating in the sea, knowing exactly what had happened. And I had to catch a ride on the boat all the way back to shore. And every time the boat went over a wave, I remember my dislocated shoulder was jolting, and the pain was just unbelievable. And in my last year of my master's degree, I ended up electing to have open surgery to reconstruct my shoulder joint. And then began an 18-month process of rehabilitation. And as my shoulder got stronger again, I started doing more and more exercise. And you know, I loved the feeling of being able to trust my body again so I could do what I wanted. But the problem was that I went too hard too soon. And I developed chronic pain through my ribs and through my back as a result. Things became really difficult and were just spiraling downhill at this point. And I remember feeling a tremendous amount of guilt and shame about the fact that I had long-term back pain and couldn't really manage it myself. But it was my job to diagnose and work with people who had long-term pain, and I couldn't even get mine under control. I was taking tramadol, I was taking amitriptyline, duloxetine and naproxen, you know, a real pain medication cocktail. And I was lying in bed at night just scrolling through the internet on my phone, looking for some magical quick fix that I knew as a result of my own professional training really didn't exist. And it's funny how pain makes us do things that are entirely emotionally driven and have nothing to do with logic. And as time went on, I began to get really obsessed with the research and the science on pain. And I spent time poring through journals on pain and on musculoskeletal health, and spent time attending postgraduate seminars on back pain rehabilitation with pain doctors and GPs and physiotherapists and chiropractors. And over the next 5 years, I've built a new, deeper understanding of what it meant to truly recover from chronic back pain. And now things have changed completely. You know, I've gone from fearing back pain to loving learning about it, to spending every day really just enjoying and embracing helping people recover from it. And it's pretty geeky really, but there you go. And I've been lucky enough to work with over 1,000 people, most of which we've been able to help, and a small percentage of which have needed further referral or just MRI scans and X-rays to help us get results. And over the years, we've learned one thing that gives a person with back problems the single biggest chance of an effective recovery. Above all else, If a person learns what, how, and why to think, move, and feel in a way that makes sense to their own body, when they have back pain, their chances of improvement increase tremendously. And that means less pain, better movement, more focus at work, easier car journeys, being able to put their socks on in the morning, playing with their kids. You know, the list is long. And some of those things might even seem funny, but believe me, when you're a human being with long-term back pain, putting your socks on in the morning can become one of the hardest things to do in the world. We created the Movement Studio and the Spinal Recovery Program to give people the very best chance of a predictable, reliable back pain recovery. And the methods we teach are underpinned by clinical science, recognized as the most effective way to combat 21st century influences of nagging, persistent, achy, disruptive back pain. So if you want to know more about back pain recovery, then feel free to add me personally on Facebook, join our brand new Facebook group, Low Back Pain Recovery, and check out our YouTube channel, the Movement Studio Programs. For now, keep moving forward, and again, my name is Samuel Clark from the Movement Studio and the Spinal Recovery Program.